Hello everyone. In today's class of transient structural analysis, we will see the basic difference between static structural, transient structural and explicit dynamics. Actually, in a few last days, I have received many requests related to have some video which focus only on the theoretical part of FEM as well as the FEM and the types of solving methods. So I have prepared this particular video exclusively for those who requested for this particular video. So guys, first of all, everyone, whenever when we come to the any solver, means whether it is Ansys or whether it is any Nastran or any software, we came across such question: what is meant by static structural analysis, what is the transient structural analysis, and what is the explicit dynamics. So today we will go through each and every type of analysis and we'll see what does it actually means and for what it is used. So first, what is meant by static analysis? Static analysis of mechanical part is intended to calculate the effects of constant loads on the structure. In simple manner, loads does not change with respect to time or changes but very slowly. So it is kind of gradual load. So we are dealing with such load which is acting on the structure, and that load is not changing with respect to time, means it is dead load. So anyone is sitting on the chair is nothing but the static problem. And what is meant by structural analysis? Structural analysis is the determination of the effects of loads on physical structure and their component. Means if we have applied any load on any particular structure or any particular object, and the behavior of that object to that applied load is nothing but analysis of that structure. Structure subjected to this type of analysis include all that must withstand load, such as building, bridges, aircraft and ships. This statement means that if that particular structure which we have prepared, if it stand with the load which we are applied, then we can say that that particular structure is safe. So the such static load which acts on the structure is nothing but a static structural analysis. A static structural analysis determines the displacement, stresses, strains and forces in structure or component caused by load that do not include significant inertia and damping effect. Steady loading and response conditions are assumed, that is, the loads and the structure response are assumed to vary slow with respect to time. So in static structural analysis, we are not considering the inertia as well as the damping effect of that particular structure, and the result which we get, that displacement, stresses, strains and which actually produce after the application of the forces. So static structural analysis is very simple. Assume any object, we are acting any load, the load is not changing with respect to time, load we have acted on it, that is dead load. It is simple. Now then question arises, what is mean by transient and explicit? So before go to the transient structure and explicit, we should know what is mean by linear analysis and non-linear analysis. So see what is mean by linear and what is mean by non-linear. If we applied load on any structure, the response which we get from the structure, that is deformation, stresses and strain, is linearly proportional to the magnitude of load, then analysis of such structure is known as linear analysis, and load may be in terms of force, pressure, moment and temperature. What this particular statement says, that whenever we applied any load on any object, then the stresses will be developed. At that time when the stresses developed, it is saying that the stresses should follow the linear, it should be linearly proportional or it should be directly proportional, means stress is changing with respect to time. It should follow the stress strain curve, it should follow the Hooke's law, it should not cross the elastic limit, it should have very small displacement. Such things, if any analysis or any behavior of structure, if such behavior happens, then we will say that this is the linear analysis. But after the application of load, if structure response, that is deformation, stress, strain, is not linearly proportional to the magnitude of load, then analysis of such structure is known as non-linear static structural analysis. What is the basic difference? Here in the non-linear, it is not following the stress strain curve. It may cross the elastic limit, it may go to the plastic zone, deformation is very large. So such thing is happened in the non-linear analysis. So see what is, again we will go to the linear analysis. In linear analysis, displacement of structure is very small and linear load is applied, means it is applied or the displacement is linear. See how scalability is like, if we are applying 1 Newton, it causes 1 mm. This is our assumption, which according to that scale we can say that for 10 Newton the displacement is 10 mm. So this is the scalability is followed in the linear analysis, whereas in the non-linear, displacement of structure is very large. It is not linear. If we say that 1 Newton is causing 1 mm, after 10 Newton it may cause 15 mm or 20 mm. We are just assuming the numbers. In high loading case also, stress strain relation is linear up to elastic limit. So Young's modulus of elasticity E can be easily obtained. This is the case of linear analysis. In linear analysis we can calculate Young's modulus of elasticity, whereas in non-linear it is very difficult to find out the Young's modulus of elasticity. The load is applied at one step and after removal of it can regain its original shape, means it is under the elastic limit. It means we are applying the load and when we remove the load it can regain its original shape and size. So this is the linear analysis. And whereas in the non-linear, loading cannot be done in one step and after removal of load the size may permanently disturb. So example of linear analysis, we consider static structural analysis. Load is not time dependent, so we may consider that this is linear analysis, whereas in non-linear the transient structural analysis, explicit dynamics, implicit and explicit, both we can consider, and load is time dependent. So now you may get that where is the static structural lies and where is the transient and the explicit dynamic lies. Static structural analysis belongs to linear analysis, whereas the transient structural analysis and explicit dynamics, these both the terminology belongs to non-linear analysis. Linear analysis having very small deformation, we may say that it regains its original shape and size after the removal of loading, whereas the loading to the displacement is linear. So all these things comes under the linear analysis, whereas in the non-linear analysis deformation is very large. Object will not regain its original shape and size after the removal of load, and the loading is a time dependent, means load whichever acting is acting with respect to time. So this is the basic difference between non-linear analysis. Types of non-linear analysis. So first type is geometric non-linearity, means whenever we are going to solve any analytical type, we should know for what analysis we are working. So if we are working for the non-linear analysis, then there are three types. So out of which first is geometric non-linearity. Due to large deformation of elements, see elements. Why I am not considering the shape and all, I am not using the word object here, because in FEM we are dealing with the element. We have discretized the that particular structure, and now element is deforming, not object is not deforming. Where element is deforming, and then we will interpolate that result and then we will give the conclusion. So if element, whether it is tria, whether it is tetrahedron, whether it is hexa, or whether it is bricks, or whether it is 1D element, any element, if it is having the large deformation, its stiffness will also changes. What is meant by stiffness? Means stiffness is changing. Stiffness means it is changing its property. If we are applying the load, and due to which we will get a very large deformation, then that stiffness property of regaining its original shape will disappear, means it will have large strain value. See what it is saying. Its stiffness also changes. Such nonlinearity categorized as a geometric nonlinearity. It is caused due to large strain because of change in area and change in thickness, because due to large deformation its area and thickness is changing, elements area and thickness. Okay. Now due to the large rotation which happens due to the change in global axis, so calculation get disturbed. Stress stiffening, membrane stress, and spin softening during the rotation of any rotating object. Such spin softening arises in the rotational problem. In short, due to geometric nonlinearity, we can't use a stress strain and displacement relation. Actually, in the geometric nonlinearity, stress is directly proportional to strain. Such relation we can't use. So this is one of the nonlinearity. Next is material nonlinearity. All engineering material are inherently nonlinear. Material is non-linear elastic if deformation is recoverable, and non-linear plastic if deformation is not recoverable. If material is changing its property as temperature rises, then it is considered as a non-linearity. So material will also changes its property as the deformation is very large. So such non-linearity is known as material non-linearity. Then the boundary condition nonlinearity. When applied boundary condition changes, then the boundary condition nonlinearity arises, due to which the load transfer to node is disturbed. See what happened in nonlinear problem. If we are considering the nonlinear problem, we know that in the FEM the load is transferring from one node to another node. It is node are connected to another node, and the calculation are calculated as per that particular thing. But during the contact problem, such nonlinearity arises where the connection between two nodes may get disturbed due to the large deformation. So such kind of nonlinearity is known as boundary condition nonlinearity. So we when we analyze any object, then we have to visualize which kind of nonlinearity may arise in this problem, and according to that we have to use it. So how to solve nonlinear analysis? So for solving that, for all non-linear and non-static analysis, incremental load, also known as a displacement step, are needed. What is this? What is the incremental load? It is saying that we are not applying the complete load at one stage. We are applying it by step. So incremental manner means whether it is implicit or explicit, remember this thing. Each and every time what we are doing here, we will incrementing the thing step by step. In more simplicity terminology, this means we need to break down the physics and time relation to solve a mathematical problem. Actually, we have very if we consider the non-linear problem right now, and if we want to solve it, we will solve it by part. We will not try to solve it completely. We will distribute it into small part, and we will solve it. In this way the nonlinear analysis is carried out. To do this, we form two groups, enter either time independent or time dependent problem. To solve this problem, we commonly use implicit and explicit method. So here two words are arises, guys, implicit and explicit. I request you to don't get too much confused, or don't have too much tension of these two words. Many guys I came across that they are so much confused related to, and those are so much they are so much concerned about this two word, what is meant by implicit and what is meant by explicit, and due to which they are unable to solve anything. See, simple word, these are the two terms which are used to solve the nonlinear analysis. I am again repeating, these are the methods, these are the solver types. Using that we can solve the nonlinear analysis. One is we can use the methodology which is known as implicit. There is another methodology which is known as explicit. So we refer to problem as a time dependent when the effects of acceleration are pronounced and cannot be neglected. When time dependent problem arises, then we need to go for the nonlinear analysis, and the effect due to that time, if it is not neglected, then we have to use the implicit or explicit. See the example. In a drop test, the highest force occurs within the first few milliseconds, as it item deaccelerate to a halt. In this case, the effect of such deacceleration must be accounted for. See, whenever I will drop any object from some height, whenever it touches the floor, only initially few seconds, these seconds are very important. So I have to take complete calculation for this particular thing, because after a few time it get deaccelerated, and the thing which causing it deacceleration, we must take it for the account. So this is very important in the nonlinear analysis. In contrast, when load are slowly applied onto structure or a surface, that is when a monitor is placed onto table, this is the example, the loading cannot be considered quasi-static or time independent. This is because the loading time is slow enough, the acceleration effect is negligible. See, what is the acceleration effect? If I am holding any object at some height and I release it, the acceleration effect will be along with it, because it is losing its potential energy and it is now gaining the kinetic energy. Whereas I am having any object with my hand and I am just gently putting it on any table. So here there is no acceleration, I just put that particular object on the table. So acceleration effect is totally neglected when I put a monitor on the table, and when I hold any object at particular height and if I release it, at that time the acceleration effect is very important. So whenever we come across such problem where acceleration effect is very important, then we need to think whether it is linear or non-linear. Non-linear means where acceleration effect we have to consider, whereas in the linear, acceleration effect is negligible. So all of these problems are expressed through the mathematical partial differential equation. So the important thing is that all this equation means all the problem is converted into the partial differential equation, and that partial differential equation is solved by the solver, whether it is implicit or explicit. So for linear problem equation becomes stiffness matrix, displacement and the force. So this is for the linear problem. Whereas the non-linear static problem, the displacement means displacement is changing with respect to time. So the velocity effect arises here. Whereas in the dynamic problem, acceleration, velocity as well as the displacement, all the things are considered along with the inertia effect, that is the mass effect, and the damping effect also. So these are the three differential equation we have to see. For the linear, we have differential equation where damping effect as well as the inertia effect is neglected. In non-linear also we are non-linear static, we are also neglecting the inertia as well as the damping effect. Whereas the dynamic problem, dynamic is non-linear, non-static. Dynamic means non-linear, non-static problem, means the transient structural, or we may say explicit dynamic. Here M stands for inertia, C stands for its damping, and K stands for its stiffness. So, and then there is acceleration, there is velocity and displacement. So all these things are considered in the dynamic problem. In general, when you want to solve dynamic problem, you are asking your solver to do one thing. You ask it to calculate the series of time increment to see what is going on in model. In each of those time increment, time slightly increases. This of course also changes the load in the model. This is why you need to have time dependent chart for the load. So the solver knows what load should be applied at which time increment. To this extent, it works the same as load incrementation in static analysis. The bonus is that since you are incrementing time, inertia effect can be taken into account when things are happening fast enough. What exactly means I am taking this thing into simple manner. What happened in here, if I divide that problem or I divide that particular event by the time increment, at each time increment it is calculating the effect. So due to which what happened, actually we are solving for the non-linear, but what it is doing, it is dividing, if it is dividing the problem into 10 part, and every part is working independently, and for every part it is working as a static problem, and then that all the things is collaborated with each other, and it will give us the result. So this is how this particular solver works. So now here we come to the how implicit and explicit works. I am again repeating, implicit and explicit both are the solving method which is used for the non-linear analysis. The solving method of both are different. They are used for special purposes. Explicit used for some other work and implicit used for some other work. So it depends upon the user which type of solver method they want to work. So in what happened in implicit analysis? Implicit analysis aim to solve for the unknown through matrix inversion. So this is the direct method. This is known as implicit analysis. When the problem is non-linear, the solution is obtained in number of steps, and the solution for the current step is based on the solution from the previous step, and it converts a dynamic problem into static problem. So implicit analysis is almost equal to the linear static problem. What it is doing, it is dividing the problem into small part. It is taking the result from the previous one and then interpolating it, and in this way it goes forwarded. So whereas in the explicit analysis, aims to solve for the acceleration. In most of the cases, the mass matrix is considered as a lumped, and thus a diagonal matrix. Inversion of diagonal matrix is straightforward, and it includes the inversion the terms on the diagonal only. Once the acceleration are calculated at nth step, the velocity of n plus half step and displacement at n plus 1 step are calculated accordingly. In short, what is basic difference between implicit and explicit? Explicit work for the current time step, whereas the implicit it takes the previous data as well. So this is the basic difference between implicit and explicit. Implicit analysis finds a solution by solving an equation that includes both the current and the later states of the given system, whatever I just told you. Explicit FEM is used to calculate the state of given system at a different time from the current time. The implicit method should be used when the events are much slower and the effect of strain rate are minimal. Means this is very important. Whatever the solver is doing, only in explicit we have to know how to calculate the time step. But important thing is when to use which type of solving method. The implicit method should be used when the events are much slower and the effect of strain rate are minimal. Guys, this is the very important thing, what implicit and explicit. Whereas in explicit, these events can be best example by extreme scenarios such as automotive crash, ballistic event, or even impact of any object. Means what the drop test, the example which you have taken, and the crash and the ballistic event. So all these thing which comes under the explicit solving method. I just hypothetically choose this particular values or example. See, in implicit solving method, 1 second is divided into 0.1, 0.2, 0.3. So the time duration is of 1 second. So it is very long event, and the time step is very large. Whereas in the explicit, we are consider only for the we are consider for the 1 millisecond, and see how the time step is divided. So the time step is very small in case of explicit dynamics. This is the most important thing which you can take from this video, that implicit method is used when the solver means the event is slower, and whereas in case of explicit we use this particular methodology when the event is very fast. So in implicit, we can say that transient structural analysis and non-linear static analysis comes, and whereas in explicit dynamics comes. So for explicit dynamics, we have good explicit dynamic software like LSDyn and Abacus. In future we will see the classes on hypermesh and LS-DYNA as well. And whereas in implicit solving, we can use the transient structural analysis and nonlinear static analysis. So this is the main basic difference. So what we can conclude from the implicit and explicit? Implicit and explicit analysis both used in nonlinear problem. Okay, both are used time dependent. One thing is clear, implicit as well as the explicit, but differ in the approach. Okay, their style of solving is method of solving is different. In implicit analysis, each time increment has to converge, but you can set pretty long time increment. So we come here to the conclusion. See, in implicit and explicit analysis both used in nonlinear problem. This is very important. We are confirmed that both are used for the nonlinear time dependent, but differ in the approaches. Means both have the different methodology to solve it. In implicit analysis, each time increment has to converge, but you can set pretty long time increment, whereas in explicit on the other hand does not have conversion in each increment, but for the solution to be accurate, time increment must be super small. Means in implicit we can give the higher time step, whereas in the explicit time step is very small. Both implicit and explicit does more or less the same thing. So this is very important statement. Both implicit and explicit analysis does more or less same thing. They divided the analysis time into small increment and then analyze what is going in your model or increment of time after another. But here is where the similarities ends. You say their distinct approach to time incrementation you may have. So see the example what I am trying to tell you. 0 to 100 Newton load we are applying, and which is on along the y-axis, and along the x-axis we are considering the time. And first example is implicit. The load acts 0.1 second, 0.3 second, 0.0, 0.5, 0.8, whereas 1 second. On the other hand, in explicit dynamics, loading condition is very fast and time increment is 0.003, 0.005. So in this way you can say that time difference between the time increment. Here the 100 Newton load comes after the 0.3 second. See the guys, what is the basic difference? At here 100 Newton load come after 0.3 second, and here 100 Newton kilonewton load comes after the 0.003 seconds. So basically explicit dynamics is used for very fast event, which load is acting very fast, acceleration is very high. So when load applied much quicker, one must use explicit dynamics. This is the important statement what we get here, and from graph we can understand. I actually take this particular diagram for the interfea.com. You can also visit it, very useful to read the basic. So here, from here we can conclude that if 100 Newton load for any event, if 100 kilonewton load takes around 0.3 second, then go to the implicit. If 100 kilonewton load comes after 0.0003 second, then it is the explicit analysis. And one more thing related to implicit and explicit solver, I would like to mention that implicit solver takes very large time, and it takes very large memory to store the result. Means storage capacity should be very high for the implicit analysis, and it is very slow process. Whereas in the explicit analysis, the storing capacity is not required up to that mark, and it is very fast process. So this is it depends upon us. And one more statement I would like to highlight, that implicit is more perfect as compared to the explicit. This is quite brave statement. and apart from that you can solve any problem using the implicit. Even the explicit type of problem can be solved by using the implicit solver, but time dependency means if time is required, we have very much time is available, then solve it by implicit. Otherwise we need not to use the implicit. If we want to want solution very fast, then go for the explicit solver work quite good in these cases. So this is the basic difference between the implicit and explicit solver. So choosing the type of solver, so which solver we have to use. In explicit is very clear, when the time duration is very small. High strain rate means it crosses the ultimate stress value, and inertia is dominated, means here we are not dealing with the it is following the stress versus strain curve along up to the elastic limit, and it follows the Hooke's law. All these things are not come here. It crosses the yield point, it crosses the ultimate also. So here is the explicit analysis is used. Whereas in implicit, static problem, transient problem, quasi-static. Quasi-static is nothing but transient structural analysis. Zero to low strain rate. Here in this case we will use the implicit analysis. So both are the solving method, and we have to choose which method we have to use. So guys, this is all about the basic, means here I went through very basic of implicit and explicit. It is very much larger concept, means of implicit and explicit, but for initial level it is to understand this thing is enough, means where to use implicit and explicit and what is transient structural analysis. So guys, in next class we will see the actual problem on transient structural analysis, how it works in the Ansys. Till then, keep watching my channel and subscribe. Thank you very much.